position management, selling into strength, and there's some really good examples that we're going to walk through here, and kind of everybody will chime in and provide their perspective on things, I think.
So this is I tweeted this pretty much along the way as we did this trade. This is the Micron trade, and a couple things that are interesting about this. And on this chart, we've got some proprietary gauges that we use. This is what I call the Fab Four panel. And we don't have the time to get into it right now, but these are the charts that we use on our platform. You'll see this is a little uncharacteristic for me. This is sort of a bottom fishing pivot where you come back near the 50-day and you just form that very short-term little pivot. I very seldom do this. This is one Micron. I like what AI is doing for this industry group. I think they're elongating their cycle, their earning cycle. This is a growth cyclical group that is turning more to the growth side now because of AI. AI is obviously moving and pushing all types of it's like a big river pushing out all these little streams all over the place. So AI is very influential in a lot of areas. So we got aggressive on it right off the lows, but it didn't go right away, and it started turning down, and so we immediately started reducing it, and we reduced it on the second day it turned down. And then after I got that little bounce back, I actually thought we were going to get a little bounce, and that was sort of like the bounce before the dead cat bounce before it was going to collapse, and I had it wrong. So I reduced again but kept a little position, but then it held up and it moved right up, and then it formed what I call a cheat area. This is the cheat, which is just basically a handle or a pivot within the middle portion of the base. If you're in the lower third, I call it a low cheat. If in the middle, I call it a cheat, and the top would be a typical O'Neill handle, which O'Neill got the handle from Giller, who had the saucer and platform, and O'Neill changed it to the cup and handle. I took the cup and handle, started realizing, you know what? There's lower points in the base that you can buy this. So I had a friend of mine, we used to trade and we used to call each other throughout the day and talk about our trades. And he'd say, "Hey, did you buy, did you see XYZ?" And I said, "Hey, I already bought it. I cheated." And he said, "What do you mean? I bought it, a week ago. It was a lower pivot." And that's how the cheat started. And we realized that when the cup completed, before the handle, you would get what we call the cup completion cheat. So then I realized, and that was we would have to have the stock run up the right side a bit, and it would form in the lower, I'm sorry, the middle portion. But then years later, it was like maybe 10 years later, 15 years later, I started recognizing and going, you know what? There's a low cheat. There's even there's more, like on TV, there's even another spot. But the thing is that you're going into the lower you buy, the more you're going into overhead supply on the left side. So as I developed as a trader, I started getting better at recognizing overhead and being able to read it and be able to effectively buy off the lows a little bit better. And that just